We immediately fell in love with the Forza Horizon series after playing the first game. It filled a void that the racing genre had been missing since games like Need for Speed Underground and Midnight Club had run their course. With 4 titles already published and hopefully a 5th one on the way, we thought we'd take a drive back through each game to see what makes this series so great and what mistakes they need to avoid in the future. Fasten your seatbelts as we cover Forza Horizon and Forza Horizon 2 in the first part of our 2-part Busy Gamer review of the Forza Horizon series. Welcome back to No Time Gamer. I'm Joe, the usual voice of NTG, and I'd like to introduce Marcus and Derek, who will be voicing our journey through Forza Horizon.
There are many great driving games that come to mind when we try to pick out our favorite, but ultimately the Forza Horizon series has always been at the top of our list. We'll tell you what we love and some things we hate about the first 2 games in the series.
For its time, the graphics in Horizon were fantastic, and yes, it doesn't compare to Horizon 4, but since it was on the 360, you can't expect it to. This series is definitely geared to be an arcade racer, giving you the ability to go 200 plus mile an hour down the straights and drift while in first place and not be passed immediately. The game did a pretty good job at balancing speed and handling, and gave you the option to turn off certain assists if you wanted to have your car handle a certain way. This game is still one of our favorite all-time arcade-style racing games.
Forza Horizon 2 brought more of the same driving feel from the original game, which is definitely a good thing. There's not a lot to mention that's different here. There's still an incredible sense of speed. The handling doesn't tip the scale too far in either direction of arcade versus sim, but it gives a perfect balance for both casual and hardcore gamers alike. The biggest difference here is the introduction of dynamic weather, so you have to wrangle your cars on wet surfaces, which does provide an entirely different feeling than dry conditions. Obviously, it's not fair to compare the 2 games in terms of graphics, since Horizon 2 was the first title in the series released for the Xbox One. The console was a powerhouse compared to the 360, and this game took full advantage of its power. The scenery is beautiful, and the detail of the cars inside and out set the standard for games in this genre. Horizon 2 is based in various cities across France and Italy, and gives us a much larger map than the original game. The story mode is based around the concept of road trips. Each road trip consists of 3 championships in 3 different cities, and each championship is 4 races long, for a total of 12 races per road trip if you're keeping track. You get to choose the type and class of cars for each championship, so you can change things up as much as you want. After you complete a road trip, you travel back to the festival as the Horizon champion. After my first road trip, I thought to myself, well, that was fast. But this is where things start to get really weird, and for lack of a better word, boring. To beat the game, you have to complete more road trips, and then more. Tired of road trips? Too bad. Do another road trip. All in all, you have to complete 56 road trips. Again, if you're keeping count, that's 672 races. As you can imagine, this can feel very repetitive very quickly. Sure, there are some fun extras in the game like bucket lists, where you'll compete feats like racing against the clock to a destination, keeping speed down a curvy road, or racking up as many skill points as you can in a short amount of time. But they aren't enough to break the monotony of the main gameplay. And while most are pretty fun, some of these bucket list challenges are extremely frustrating. There are other goodies here and there like head-to-head races against drivatars that you encounter on the map, and showcase events where you'll do things like race fighter jets along the coast of Castelletto. Still, I never felt motivated enough to complete all 56 road trips.
Forza Horizon had our favorite map in the series. Yeah, it's small compared to later games, but at the time this game had much to offer. Starting with our favorite highway to test top speed, to having street races and various challenges sprinkled throughout the map. There were also dirt roads that made your car control differently, and a golf course to give a more open world feel than what we were used to with other racing games at that time. They split all the different features up at the festival site, from the auto show to the garage and a few others, and they included a few other sites throughout the map, giving you the ability to easily change cars or fast travel. Some of our favorite features that have sadly been forgotten gave you the ability to sell back unwanted cars for a portion of the cost, and bonus boards that helped get your garage loaded with many different cars, but more on that later. This game quickly set the bar high for all other racing games. Though it is dated and pretty dead now, we think Forza Horizon had the best online multiplayer. First and foremost, you had contact in races. This means you were actually allowed to hit each other. And many people might think it's good they got rid of it later in the series, but having contact gave you the ability to take chances and maybe take the lead in the last turn, or pay the price and fall to last. But our motto when it comes to arcade racers is Rubbings Racing. The multiplayer setup was simple and fast. All you had to do was join the lobby, pick a car, and put the pedal to the floor. It was designed to do one race at a time and sounds like it could be very slow with load times, but this game was quite efficient when it came to getting you into another race. You would be given 3 random class options that you would vote on from D to X class cars, the winning vote being the class you'd race. Then you'd have roughly 30 seconds to pick one of your favorite cars from this class and the race would start. This was a great system being that you could easily play around 12 races an hour depending on the length of race. And our favorite part of this system was that you got to pick a new car between each race. So you could use the cars that you didn't use often because you wouldn't be stuck with it for the next hour. Another cool feature was to create a club with a few friends and share some of your best cars. This gave the members the ability to try out your cars if they were bored with what was in their garage. You could even gift cars to each other if you had a double or if you wanted someone else to lay down some paint on your rides.
I feel pretty conflicted about the multiplayer in Horizon 2. I'll start off by saying that it's a complete blast to race online, just like the original, there's no questioning that. But the structure of online play changed drastically in the second game. Instead of the low time commitment lobby-style racing, the game once again rides on the concept of road trips. Luckily, an online road trip is much shorter than those in Horizon Solo, with each one consisting of 4 races. But each road trip is a pretty serious time suck because not only do you compete in 4 events, but you drive from event to event as well. Usually that distance is pretty short, but sometimes driving to the first event of the road trip can take up to 10 minutes, and then you add in the time it takes for awarding each player their XP and potential level rewards. So this all adds up pretty quickly. As a busy gamer, my time in front of the screen is precious, and this game made me miss the one-and-done multiplayer style of the original game. Even still, if you have a half hour or 45 minutes to put into each online road trip, you'll get lots of the Forza Horizon signature fast-paced, fender-to-fender racing action. Online play is also one of the best ways to earn cash in Horizon 2, if you can consistently place well in races and overall championships. Not only do you get rewarded for completing races, but you earn a bonus up to 30k for placing in the championship standings. Money is frustratingly scarce in Horizon 2. If you want to keep the endless supply of road trips interesting, you will definitely want to buy as many cars as you can. But unfortunately, you don't progressively earn more money in each championship, so you'll earn money at a pretty consistently slow pace unless you're competing in a lot of online road trips. It's also worth noting that you can earn money from bucket list challenges and even by taking pictures of cars, but those don't get you too far. You'll slowly but surely rack up enough to get some cheaper cars with mods, but personally I didn't find myself with supercar money very often. This constant struggle to get cash is compounded by another big pitfall of the game, the fact that there is no try before you buy with upgrades. Want to add all the engine upgrades and see if it'll make your car a competitive S2 versus a lackluster one and then knock some things back to go down a class? You'll have to spend your money up front and buy upgrades right off the bat. Experimenting with upgrades and classes will cost you big time. We definitely prefer the way the original Horizon handled money and car upgrades.
The money in Forza Horizon wasn't hard to come by, though it started out small. As you completed races, you earned money and had to balance purchasing new cars and upgrades, as is pretty normal in a racing game. Though Forza Horizon had one of the best systems to upgrade your cars out of any racing game we've ever played. At the start of the game, you had to buy each upgrade, but as you played, you found DAX discount signs making upgrades cheaper with each one you collected. The cool thing about this was that once you collected all 100, every upgrade was free and all the money you earned could go straight to purchasing cars. This made saving up to buy those outrageously priced supercars possible, and it let you play around with building some truly crazy vehicles without wasting money. Another cool feature was being able to fast travel anywhere on the map as long as you didn't mind paying until you found all of the fast travel signs, making it completely free. For us, Forza Horizon had the absolute best soundtrack in the entire Horizon series. And though it may not really matter to you, we had a hard time enjoying a game that we can't get into the music. This game allowed you to change radio stations from a few genres with the D-pad and the ability to turn off all music if you just wanted to listen to your engine scream. The only real issue we had with this game was that you could be flying down the road and hit a small tree or bush and come to a complete stop. This could be very irritating, especially if you go back and play after you've played the games later in the series.
Maybe this isn't the most legitimate gripe about a game, but let me tell you, the music in Horizon 2 is the absolute worst in the entire series by a long shot. Like, there's probably only 1 or 2 songs between all of the radio stations that I enjoyed. Thankfully, you can run Spotify or other music streaming services in the background on Xbox One, so that's how I played most of the time. The game has 2 pretty solid expansions available, Storm Island and Forza Horizon Presents Fast and Furious. They're both too big to cover in the scope of this video, but they're both high quality content packs. We always considered Forza Horizon 2 the worst game in the series, but as we went back to refresh our minds, we realized that we may no longer dislike Horizon 2 as much as we thought.
All in all, Forza Horizon 1 and 2 are still heavy hitters in the arcade racing genre. Even though these are the two oldest games in the series, there's still plenty of fun to be had playing either one. Stay tuned for part 2 of the series where we'll cover Forza Horizon 3 and 4 and give you our ratings for all 4 games.
So which Forza Horizon game do you like more? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss part 2. While you're here, check out one of these videos to see what game could be time well spent.